The intellectual and cultural movement that began in Italy and stressed human potential and achievement is known as Enlightenment, Renaissance, Reformation. Your time starts now. It was called Renaissance. In this quiz on modern world history, you have 30 questions and 5 seconds to answer. Comment your score at the end. Who is credited with initiating the Protestant Reformation by posting his 95 Theses in 1517? John Calvin, Martin Luther, Henry VIII. The answer is Martin Luther. Which major event allowed European powers to claim territory in the Americas beginning in the late 15th century? The Crusades, the Age of Exploration, the Industrial Revolution. The Age of Exploration. The exchange of plants, animals, culture, technology, and ideas between the American and Afro Eurasian hemispheres after 1492 is known as Silk Road Trade, Columbian Exchange, Trans Saharan Trade. It is the Columbian Exchange. What system of government, common in 17th and 18th century Europe, vests all power in a single monarch? Constitutional monarchy, feudalism, absolute monarchy. Absolute monarchy. The scientific method and the application of reason to natural laws were key components of the medieval scholasticism, scientific revolution, romantic movement. Scientific revolution. Which political and intellectual movement of the 18th century emphasized reason, individualism, and skepticism? Mercantilism, the Enlightenment, the Great Awakening. The Enlightenment. The Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen was a key document of which major political upheaval? American Revolution, French Revolution, Russian Revolution. French Revolution. What term describes the fundamental change in how goods were produced beginning in Great Britain around the late 18th century? Agrarian Revolution, Industrial Revolution, Communication Revolution. Industrial Revolution. Which economic system is based on private ownership, free markets, and pursuit of profit? Socialism, communism, capitalism. Capitalism. The 19th century policy by which European powers sought to control territories in Africa and Asia is known as isolationism, imperialism, containment. Imperialism. The unification of both Germany and Italy in the mid 19th century was primarily driven by the ideology of liberalism, nationalism, conservatism. Nationalism. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914 is considered the immediate trigger for World War II, World War I, the Spanish American War. First World War. What was the name of the international organization established after World War I to promote world peace? United Nations, League of Nations, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. League of Nations. The rise of totalitarian regimes in Germany and Italy in the 1920s and 30s was characterized by democratic governance, extreme nationalism and militarism, economic deregulation. Extreme nationalism and militarism. The global economic downturn of the 1930s is famously known as Recession of 1929, Great Depression, Panic of 1907. Great Depression. World War II officially began with the German invasion of which country in September 1939? France, Poland, Belgium. Poland. The systematic state-sponsored persecution and martyr of 6 million Jews by the Nazi regime is known as Gulag, Holocaust, ethnic cleansing. Holocaust. What two cities were destroyed by atomic bombs dropped by the United States in August 1945? Tokyo and Osaka, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Berlin and Dresden. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The ideological and political rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union after the World War II is known as the Dentente, the Cold War, the Proxy War. The Cold War. The post-World War II US policy aimed at stopping the spread of communism was called isolationism, containment, brinkmanship. Containment. The division of Germany and its capital city Berlin into four occupation zones was a result of which post-war conference? Yalta Conference, Versailles Conference, Potsdam Conference. Potsdam Conference. The process by which colonies gained their independence from European powers after World War II is called globalization, decolonization, westernization. Decolonization. Who was the leader of the Chinese Communist Party who established the People's Republic of China in 1949? Chiang Kai-shek, Mao Zedong, Deng Xiaoping. Mao Zedong. The movement against racial segregation and discrimination in the United States, peaking in the 1950s and 60s, is known as women's suffrage movement, civil rights movement, temperance movement, civil rights movement. The Soviet satellite launched in the 1957 that sparked the space race was named Vostok, Soyuz, Sputnik. Sputnik. What structure became the enduring symbol of the Cold War division between East and West until its fall in 1989? Iron Curtain, Berlin Wall, Checkpoint Charlie. Berlin Wall. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 led to a new global alliance with the US, the end of the Cold War, and the formation of new independent states, the immediate unification of all communist nations. The end of Cold War and the formation of new independent states. Which organization was established after World War II to serve as a forum for international cooperation and security? League of Nations, United Nations, Organization of American States. United Nations. The term Arab Spring refers to a series of anti-government protests, uprisings, and armed rebellions that began in which decades? 1980s, 2010, 1990s. 2010. Thanks for watching. Comment your score below.